Hi, my name is Lisa Parziel, and this is Module 5 of the Reputation Management course. We call this the sales rep. In other words, selling reputation. And we think it's easier to sell than crack. You know what? I don't like that word. It's easier to sell than puppies. That's why we changed it. The whole idea, though, is to get somebody really addicted to something or wanting something and then being able to sell that thing. So let's talk about what we're going to learn in this particular module. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about how to get in the door. So in other words, what our method is and how we think, you might want to take this to the next level. Getting in the door simply by showing them, we'll call it the adorable puppy. So what we mean by that is if you show them what you can do for them with their reputation, whether it be they have a bad one and you want to save it, they have no reputation and you want to build it, or they have a great reputation and you want to maintain it, you first have to show them exactly what the benefit is to them, not the service you're going to provide. And that's a key thing to think about when you're thinking about sales. Doesn't matter what it is you're selling. If you tell them this is what I'm going to do for you as opposed to this is what's going to happen once I do it, that's where you run into the mistake. Remember, all they care about is once you do this thing, what do I get out of it? What's in it for me? So you want them to fall in love with the idea of that. So like the puppy equals, having that reputation, being on page one. Once you give them that vision and show them what's going to happen, we all know when we're on page one, you can show them statistics that you're going to get all these calls, these great things are going to happen. And if you've got 5 stars, people will trust and want. You got to paint that picture. Once you do it, try to take that away from them. I always say that you can always tell if you're going down the right path, if they're interested, because if they ask you how much something costs, well, guess what? They're interested. They want it. Now they're trying to see is what they're wanting is the perceived value going to be the same. So this is the first step. This is not going to be, a sales course where we go into deep sales. While we are very good at sales and we could teach those types of things, I want to just show you how easy it is to sell this service based on just painting that picture. We're also going to talk about trust building. So that's a key as well. You must build trust with your potential client or your client. Once you do that, you're going to have a harder time, for that client to leave you. And it's going to get easier and easier to sell them not only what you are selling them, but to upsell them on new things or new services. And then we're also going to talk about in this module how to find new clients, how to find potential clients that you can do reputation management for. So once you learn this skill and now you know how to do something by building the reputation, now you want to figure out, well, how do I get more clients now that I know how to do it? So we're going to talk about various methods to do so. So let's first talk about getting in the door. And I'm going to tell you there's 2 easy ways to get in the door. As a matter of fact, I do an entire course just on this because it's a phenomenal way to get in the door. So I say free services are the best way to get in the door. Why? Because who turns stuff down for free? Now, yeah, there's some people who will because they typically think, oh, what's the catch? And so after we talk about free services, that's why sometimes discounted or small dollar services are better than free, because many people question, why is it free? So think about offering a free product or a free service that would help you demonstrate your abilities and open the door, specifically to reputation marketing. So what do I mean by that? Well, you could offer them a free reputation analysis service, meaning, hey, Mr. Client, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go out and do my research. I'm going to find out what your reputation analysis looks like, because that's going to help me decide whether or not you're a good candidate for reputation marketing or reputation management or whatever it is you're trying to sell. The first thing you've done with that approach is you've actually instilled that desire to want something. Well, what do you mean? I might not be a good match. You might not work with me. You're doing it in a very subtle way. Then you say, it's not going to cost you anything. I want to get a clear picture of where you are now so I can fully understand what it's going to take to do X. And X is typically get you on front page of Google, dominate page one of Google, get rid of those negative reviews. Whatever it is you're trying to do, you're selling them on that idea. And you don't have to make the reputation analysis, intense. It doesn't have to be, really fancy. It could be a one-page Word doc. It could be, a couple of charts. It could be some screenshots of what you found. It could even be a video. I mean, those are easy to make, and you can quickly show them around what's happening, post it somewhere, and then send them to go look at it. The idea is you're trying to get in the door. If they say yes, your foot is now in the door. Now you have no longer a lead. You have a prospect. You have an interested party that wants you to tell them more. They are interested. Don't, think that you don't have the potential now to close that deal. You do. Now, you won't close them all. I don't close them all. But you need to get in front of a lot of people so you can actually gain a client. You could also say, look, I'll get rid of one bad review for you. And while I was putting the course together, it was quite funny. I went out to Facebook and I was doing something on Facebook and I saw somebody gave me a 1 star on Facebook, and I kick myself now. I didn't record it, and I should have. I literally wrote that person and said, hey, who are you? I don't even know who you are. You're not one of my customers. Why are you giving me a 1 star review? That came off within 24 hours. They went and deleted that review. So you'll be surprised at how easy it is. Now, you want to pick the easy stuff. You don't want to say, I'm going to get rid of 1 bad review on Google, and we know we can't get rid of them. We can bury it. So maybe you offer to bury one or try to get one. Of course, you've done your homework already, right? So you already know what you can or can't offer this client. For instance, if you ever see a review out there, and go back and watch the video on this if you didn't watch it on, things we can do on Google, for example. If there's a review out there that's just full of cussing and hate and threatening and things like that, you can actually get those removed from Google. There's a couple different tricks that we talk about, so go back and watch that. Offering to do that for them, trying to do something for them, that's a free way to get in the door. You could do free reputation monitoring, letting them know that, look, I mean, I'm willing to go and see what's out there on you, and then for the next 6 months, I will monitor your reputation for free, and there's tools you can do that with, and then I can let you know, if anything bad. You're offering something for free just to get them to talk to you. That's the idea. And maybe you give them some free stuff. For instance, I'd like to talk to you about a review campaign that you can do with your customers. And look, I'll be honest with you, I'll give you the first month free, and I'll even print for you some review business cards that you can give out to start the ball rolling. Again, once you get in the door, you can actually, sit down and talk to that client. You have the potential of selling them a service, and that's all we ever want. Selling is the art of getting in front of people. And if we get in front of enough people, we present something and show them exactly what we're going to deliver for them, not what we're going to do for them. There's a big difference between what we're going to do for them and what we're going to deliver. Here's the example. I'm going to do a bunch of citations to squash the 1 star review so I can get you a 3.9. Well, they don't care about that. Instead, it's, you know what, we're going to increase your 5-star rating as high as we can, so you will then get XYZ, or you will get to the top of the search engines, or when people look you up, you will be very attractive to them. You're selling them the end result, and always talk about money. So what do I mean by that? So, and as you know, Mr. Client, if we get you there, you will automatically start making money. People will start calling you. People on the first page of Google get exponentially more calls than anyone else. People at the top of Google get blank percent. I mean, go do your homework, grab some numbers. You're telling them what the result is, not the work you're going to do for them. As a matter of fact, if the client starts asking a bunch of questions about what are you going to do and how are you going to do it, odds are they've been burned, they've been through this before, somebody either got them in trouble, somebody didn't do the service. If that's not the case and they're just really curious, you might be cautious because that client might be a pain in the end because they're always questioning you. So it's a great way to get in the door. I like to say a better way to get in the door is to do something where you get paid at the same time you prospect. Meaning, I'd rather, and I don't usually do free services, I did when I started, and don't be afraid to do it. When I first started my agency, I had to do it. I didn't have any money and I had a lot of time. So I did want to do that. Now, after it's all said and done, I don't need to do that anymore. So now I use paid services to get in the door. So let's talk about those. Now, typically you want to start with a low-cost service to get in the door. If I walk in the door and say, Mr. Client, I want to charge you $1,000 a month to do your reputation management, and here's why. They already are fixated on that $1,000 a month. So what we do is a little different. We use a little psychology and patience. We use a low-cost service to get in the door. Once we're in the door and we have a relationship with that customer, then we have no problem talking to them about higher cost services. So let's look at a couple of those. Obviously, you can discount or use your low cost services to get in the door. So when we're talking about reputation management, again, you could say, look, I will do a full analysis for you for $50. Maybe that shows that they're really serious and so you feel better about it. Maybe you say, I will do a postcard campaign for you, and that postcard campaign might get you X amount of reviews. Whatever it is, what you're trying to do is give them something small, something digestible, something that they get a value from, but didn't cost them a whole lot. If they say yes, you're in the door. And that's where everything gets exciting, because once you get in the door and somebody trusts you, the sky's the limit on that. That's now your client, and you can do many things with them. Don't think you have to just do the service in which you're trying to sell. So I don't sell anything out of our portfolio of our larger services to get in the door with clients. The only time somebody will hire me for SEO, for example, right off the bat, is somebody who is referred to me by one of my other clients. Otherwise, you probably met me from me selling you something small. So for instance, I sell print or print marketing services. That's what I do. And I do have an entire course on that as well. Why? Because that is, our main juice on how we get in the door. And it's an easy way to get in the door. Why? Everybody needs printing. And even if you don't make $1 on that printing and you just break even, but you provide a service to get in the door, that's now your client. You can now start talking to them about other things. You can now start upselling your higher services. And that is what we do. We use a low-cost service like printing. So, and I'm not talking about selling them, a bunch of printing. They don't have to do marketing services. Maybe they have appointment cards. Maybe they have business cards. Whatever it is, in some cases, it's even worth it for me to use a lost leader. In other words, I'm losing money by saying, hey, I will give you 250 free X, and I'll go pay for that. Why? Because I'm trying to land that client. That's a client I want. I want to get in the door. But, you don't have to do that. You can try to sell that service and make some money. So when you're thinking about that, think about some other things. You can tell them you're going to do an email review campaign. That doesn't cost you any money to buy any hard services. What do I mean by that? Well, you tell them, look, I can email Mr. Client all of your existing client base. We'll put together a really nice package. I'll do this for free for you for the first month. If this doesn't appeal to you after that month, you can go ahead and, move on. Or you could say, you know what, I'm going to do an email review campaign for you. We typically charge $200 a month for this service. But, I really want to show you what we can do. And I have faith that once you see how good we are and how much value we can bring to you and how much we can get you for your return on investment, we know you'll be willing to pay that to us. So I'll tell you what, we're going to do it for 3 months at $50. $50 a month. You have nothing to lose. Again, you're getting in the door. Once you get in the door, you're going to do the things it takes to get them to trust you, to have faith in you, to see you as the amazing expert you are. And I'm going to stop and say, if you're a beginner, don't get afraid by this. You have bought into a system. You have backing now. You have people like me and other trainers that we can help you. So don't be afraid to go out there and sell something. Go out there and do it. You will be able to fulfill. That's something you should never be afraid of. You can offer to rank a video for them if you know how to do that. You can offer to set up just a social media account. This is something I like. You say, Mr. Customer, I'll go ahead and do your first profile for $25. So let's say they already have Facebook and say, well, I don't need you to do my profile. I already have Facebook. Okay, well, are you utilizing the Facebook 5-star rating system? 9 out of 10 business owners will look at you with a blank stare because they have no idea Facebook has a 5-star rating system. They have no idea that you can not only start getting them 5-star ratings on Facebook, but you can make that, something that shows up very quickly for them. So you could offer them that I'll do that for $25, whatever it is. And you don't go in, with the intent of offering them something high and then offering to do something low. You're going in with that as your product. That is your get in the door product. I am a Facebook marketer. I can help you with Facebook. Here's the service. Whether you be free or low cost, you are the expert in that. You'd like to do it for them. They have nothing to lose. Even if it's $25, what business wouldn't spend $25? While I'm at it, Mr. Customer, I'll go ahead and update your front page picture and make it stunning for you. Or if there's something else you want me to do instead of Facebook, just let me know. The idea is simple. Once you get in the door, you do these things for them, they now look at you as the trusted expert, as their new marketing partner, and they will ask you, do you know someone who does X? Oh, I do X. Do you know someone who does Y? Oh, I do Y. Or you can even suggestive sell those things as a next step. So let's talk about that trusted partner relationship. It doesn't matter what part of reputation you're trying to sell, whether it be they already have a bad review and you want to fix that, whether it be they have nothing out there on them, they have no reviews, they don't show up on page 1, they don't show up anywhere. Whatever it is you're trying to do for them, becoming that trusted partner is key, because what we do, we want to ask a premium price for it. People pay a premium for service. And what I mean by that is, if you think about it, if you go to a restaurant and you get food, well, we can get food anywhere. And sometimes the food at a $9 a plate restaurant is just as good as the food at a $29 a plate restaurant. But the service, ambiance, atmosphere at the $29 restaurant is what someone's paying for. I tend to say, as a business owner, I want to be the high end. I don't want to be the low cost, price slashed provider. And how do you do that? You're offering the same service as everyone else, but you're their partner. You're the consultant. You're the one who knows everything. You're the one who takes care of them. You touch them, you feel them, you go to their office, you call them on the phone. Whatever it is, you're becoming the person that they want to be around. So the first thing you do is you deliver on the smaller free or discounted service that you offered them. So if you offered to do a free analysis, you say thank you, and you never offer to do it that day. You want them to think that they got a value. It might take you 4 days to do that analysis. And I'll be completely honest with you. It could take you 2 hours. It doesn't matter. 4 days. You want them to think it took you a while, you did some due diligence, what have you. And you're a busy, thriving business. I don't care if you don't have any clients. The impression you make is very important. So you go back, you do that analysis, and then once you get the analysis done, what you're going to do is then you're going to deliver that to them. I like to deliver whatever it is, whether if I did business cards for them and I'm delivering them, I get to touch, feel, and be with that customer. If they're out of state, I'm going to call them on the phone and ask them, when can you set up an appointment with me? Because I want to become that trusted partner. I want a relationship with that customer. So it's very important that you deliver on the smaller or free service or the discounted service to gain trust. You got to do a great job, be on time, but don't do it too fast. And deliver what you promise, and it should be exceptional quality. Once the customer trusts you, you open the door for your larger services, your monthly services, things like that. So if you sell the reputation management, and that's what you're going to do on a monthly basis for them, whether it be proactive or reactive, that opens the door for them to buy those things. Whether you sell other things. So some of you guys watching this course might also do SEO. You might also do web design or development. whatever it is, when you become that trusted partner, you now have opened the door to sell other things to this client. They will be more receptive to you because now they trust you. You've delivered for them. You've done exactly what you said. You've been a great vendor, a good partner. Staying connected is key. So folks always ask me, what's the key to our success? Why have we been able to build such a big agency so quick? And I'll tell you the secret right here in one sentence. We touch and feel our customers on a regular basis. That's our success. I don't do anything better than my competitors. I build websites just like other people build websites. I do SEO as good as everyone else does SEO. I build reputations like everyone else can build reputations. What sets me apart typically is I stay connected. I don't stay behind the computer. I like local clients because I can drop by and visit them. I like to do phone calls. I like to make sure I give them reports on a regular basis. Why? Because you're always on their mind. You're always in their purview. When somebody's going to hand you $1,000 a month on a regular basis, you cannot be silent. If you are, it will not be long, no matter how good you're doing for that client. If you haven't called them and told them, if you haven't reported what you have done for them, if you haven't had a conversation with them about ROI and what the results have been of your work to make sure that the campaign is going well, you will lose that client. So staying connected is very, very important. And here's another reason why. To become the go-to for anything they need. What do I mean by that? Well, you want them to get in a relationship with you in a way that you get them to realize that you're a marketing company. It doesn't matter what service you sell. If you sell reputation marketing or if you sell website design, whatever it is, that is online marketing. And whatever they might need, you want them to stop by you first, so to speak. You want them to ask you, hey, do you do this? Or, hey, who do you know who does this? You want to open the door to be able to help them at every corner. Because I have many customers who call me on a regular basis and they'll ask me questions out of the blue about stuff we don't do. I will spend a half hour going through with them, if I know about it. Hey, okay, no, I don't sell radio ads, but here's what you want to consider. If you have someone, you can get them in touch with that person. But otherwise, educate yourself on a few other things. So when they ask you, say, you know what, I don't really know anyone right now. I used to know someone that I trusted, but right now I really can't recommend to you anyone. Here's what you want to consider though. Go ahead and think about XYZ. And then you go into a little bit about that. If you really don't know anything about what they're asking, you can say, look, I really don't know. Let me dig around a little bit and see if I can't find some info for you or if I can't get a good recommendation for you. What you're doing is you're becoming that trusted partner. They're coming to you every time they think about anything that has to do with marketing. That's good for many, many reasons. One of which is so many people are going to come to them and say, I can do your reputation. Why are you paying this person to do your reputation? They're paying the premium. Somebody else can say, I'm $500 cheaper. But if you're giving them exceptional results and you're always touching them, feeling them, they are going to come to you and say, hey, this guy says he can do it for $500 a month. They feel like they can talk to you about that stuff. And you want to encourage them to do so. Otherwise, you'll get blindsided with somebody quitting you and they've already signed a contract with somebody else you couldn't talk them out of. So become a trusted partner and you will see your business thrive. Number one secret to my success. Okay, we talked about painting a picture for the client. And when I talk about painting a picture, it's not about what you're going to do for them. It's about how much money they can make from what you do. We're all interested in money. We can say we work for the joy of it, but at the end of the day, unless you're working for a nonprofit and not accepting a salary, you work for money. So we need to help the client see the reason for reputation marketing. That reason is going to be return on investment. You spend X amount of dollars with me, I'm going to take your reputation, make it better, and I'm going to ensure that because of your great reputation or your fixed reputation or your strong, dominating reputation, more people want to call you instead of your competitors. That's your sell. What you're selling them is the idea that the more people that call them, the more people that buy their services, the more money they make. And you are responsible for helping them make that money. That is the reason they need to see. Doesn't matter what you're going to do for them. They don't want to know the details. I wouldn't even talk to them about it. And you even tell them that. Say, look, I know you don't care, how something works. And if you do, I'm happy to explain it to you. But at the end of the day, let's talk about return on investment. Let's talk about money. It's refreshing. You'll be surprised how many people don't do that with clients, and they'll, really appreciate it. These are business people typically, so they understand and they get it. Look, social proof sells. One of the things with reputation marketing that you really want to drive home is that if they've got a stellar reputation, they're going to make more money. If they have a so-so reputation, they're losing money. And if they have a negative reputation, they are going to really lose, their business. So how do you drive that home? I've actually used this story, and feel free to take this and make it your own. I use an offline social proof or an online social proof. So I'm going to start with the offline. So I tell them a story, and I'm going to tell it to you. So one day I was at Home Depot, right? And I was trying to buy a new appliance. You can tell the client a refrigerator, think about something you were literally trying to buy. Because this actually happened to me, but you can borrow my story. So I'm at Home Depot, and I'm actually looking to buy a refrigerator. And I literally spent like 2 hours looking at refrigerators. It was crazy. Long story short, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at refrigerators. I've asked the sales rep thousands of questions. She keeps telling me what's great, what's not, and I'm still not making a decision. I'm standing there, I'm hemming, I'm hawing, and all of a sudden a stranger walks by and stops and says, oh man, I have that refrigerator. I love that refrigerator. That is a great refrigerator. And walks on. That's it. I bought that refrigerator. So I have a sales rep who's telling me everything. I don't trust that person. She's a sales rep. The minute somebody else, a stranger, told me, that's a great fridge, I have that fridge, my decision was made and I bought that refrigerator. You want to present that story to the client, or a story like that, or some type of way to get home, the idea that social proof is not going anywhere. Complete strangers are giving their opinion in 5, 10-star ratings, whatever it happens to be, of what they think of a product, a restaurant, a business, a service. And based on that reputation, people are either using someone or not using someone. So giving them that offline social proof is fantastic. It helps them understand, really, yeah, no, I remembered. You're connecting with them. They're probably now in their head thinking about a time when that happened to them. Now, an online social proof. I always say that some of the best SEO with a bad reputation is useless. And so I have a great client it's not a great for them, but it's a great way. I usually show, my client who has a bad reputation that we are working hard to get them up in the search, engine rankings. I show how, look, they show up on all of page 1, but look at their bad reputation and they're struggling to get clients. You can show them your reputation. If I jump out to Google and I look up myself, and we go ahead and look me up, 4.9, 14 reviews. Who would want to hire the guy that might be, lower if they looked up, so let's see, if we typed in marketing online, my city. And so here, I show up here on Yelp with 5 stars. I show up here, as a website designer. I show up, first in the search rankings. If I didn't have a 5-star rating, I'd be in a little bit of trouble. Then you look down here and there's other people, but wait, those people don't have any testimonials. Odds are they're going to look at me and they're going to say, I'm going to check out this company. And they're going to go to Yelp and they're probably going to go look at those reviews and see what people had to say. And then, they start reading these online reviews. It's the same with Google. Think about what we've talked about thus far. And when you go out to Google and we see those reviews and we see, here's 14 Google reviews. Again, people are going to read these reviews. If you show this to a client, if you just demonstrate this, it could be fast. It could be on your phone. It could be on an iPad. If you demonstrate this, again, you're touching something they already know. they're going to start thinking in the back of their mind, yeah, I pick stuff after reading reviews, or I don't pick someone. We all are doing these things. And just because they're a business owner, don't assume that they don't do that. They too are going out there and reading reviews and selecting stuff in their personal life the same way. So there's definitely things here, you do want to pay attention to. And then make sure you find a way to bring in that social proof is now one of the most important things that affects whether or not you get business online. That is an easy way. Once you paint that picture without social proof, you're going to have a harder time than your competitors. Again, remember, you want to pit them against, the people they're competing with. If you've done your homework on them, you already know who those people are. You probably already know the 5-star. Name them. As you're talking to that client, say, hey, we want to get you a reputation as good as XYZ, or we want to try to beat XYZ. They already know who their competitors are, and that's just going to give them that drive. You're painting that picture for them. ROI sells, return on investment sells. If you can find a way to show that client what your projected or other customers' ROI has been, you are going to have an easier time selling that. Help the client see the bottom line. What's the bottom line? What will happen when my reputation changes? Well, you're going to get more phone calls. More phone calls turn into more sales or clients. That turns into money. If you can figure out a way to project that, I can't project it as easily in reputation management. I do have an easier time projecting that in SEO. You can still do it because reputation management is SEO. So you do want to show them some facts and figures. You want to show them some statistics or some graphs. Put together a generic type of thing that's part of your proposal package that shows them, this is what we're going to be measuring. We're going to look and make sure that, if you hire us, Mr. Client, I just am not going to perform a service and get you up in the rank of, reputation. I intend to ask you on a regular basis if you're seeing an improvement in your business. I want you to make money. My job is to make money, not rank you. That's just a byproduct of how we're going to help you make money. That statement, getting used to saying some of those things really is going to drive home that, you care about their bottom line. You're a business owner and you care about your job as a marketing professional is to help them make money. Just because it's reputation management doesn't mean it's not going to affect their bottom line. We all know it is. We've just got to make sure they know it. Remember, money talks. Clients want the numbers. You'll be surprised. They'll spit out. I've had clients spit out numbers like, last year I only made X. Okay, that's great. Let's talk about that, Mr. Client. So if you made X last year, what do you want to make next year? If you get them talking about money, you're not going to promise that you can get them there. You're not going to promise them anything. We don't make promises in our line of work. But you're getting them to talk about it, and you're telling them that that's my job to help you go that route. I'm going to help you try to attain that. That's what they want to hear. And I guarantee you, if you start talking in that language instead of, here's what we're going to do, here's a list of services, here's why you need them, and you talk more about ROI, it's really going to help. So social proof and ROI, that is how I sell reputation. I tell them why they have to have a great reputation, and then I tell them the numbers behind it if I can, put something together for them. Okay, now that we've kind of talked about what you're going to do to sell that client, where can you find new customers for your reputation management services? Well, we're going to talk in a minute about Google, and obviously Google's a great place to find. But I'm also going to talk to you about where else you can find some really great customers. Facebook, I could probably give you 100, but I'm picking some of the ones that I think are fun, and you can easily sell that customer on the idea. So Google, Facebook, your own neighborhood. Think about your business neighborhood. Again, remember we talked about touching and feeling. Your network. Who else do you know? Who do they know? And finally, networking. And we're going to talk heavily about networking. It was definitely one of the ways that I built my business quicker, but you have to do the right kind of networking. Most people, 99% of people are doing the wrong type of networking. It's just a waste of time and money. Let's start with Google. And here we're going to get into a little bit more meat of this module. We're going to actually go look at some stuff and play around with some stuff. So first and foremost, the best customers are on the second page of Google. Again, we've talked throughout this course the difference between reputation management and reputation marketing. I would prefer not to fix a reputation. Instead, I like to sell accounts where I am just going to take a neutral reputation and rank it higher, dominate first page or dominate a bunch of the first page for them, or I'm going to take a good reputation and maintain it. Now, you can still go after some of the other clients, but what I'm going to show you here is really how to find the folks that are going to be neutral or good, and you're really selling them, reputation marketing as opposed to management, which I consider fixing. Google Maps is a great place, that you can get into. So let's go look at these two. So the second page of Google, if I were to come out here and I say dentist, and maybe it's in Dallas, most of these guys are ranking pretty well. They're probably not the guys you want to go after. If you were to pick one of these guys and then you throw in their name to see what their reputation is, odds are, based on what I'm seeing here, most of these guys are going to come up good. They're going to have good reputations. Yeah, you could approach them to maintain that. But if we're looking for low-hanging fruit, there's people out here, and we'll talk about the map box in a minute, but there's people out here who have no reputation. Now, down here on page 2, what you want to find is somebody that's not ranking very well. And the reason being is because if they're not ranking very well, so let's see, Pro Dental Dallas, I look and go check them out. And I didn't pre-do this, so this might be a bad example, but we're about to find out. I just grabbed their URL, and now I'm going to go check out that client. And so here's Pro Dental Dallas, Facebook, Demand Force. So here I thought they weren't going to have a good reputation. They actually have a pretty strong. They do. When you look them up, they dominate page 1. They show, a bunch of stuff. They're actually using some software from Demand Force. That's probably what's doing it, which means this tells me Demand Force is actually managing their reputation. Demand Force is a dental marketing software or management as well. And it can come out here and do these things. Now, you could, if you so wish to, they're spending money on marketing, so you could go after this client and go after taking that over. Do your homework if you do that on Demand Force first to make sure that you understand the package, that they probably have. In other words, know more about Demand Force than they do, so that way when you do approach them or you have that conversation. Again, typically with a client like this, say I wanted to, get in with Pro Dental Dallas, I probably wouldn't even go after any reputation marketing. What I'd do is I'd try to get, again, this is my methodology. You can use something else. I would try to go in and get their print business, to print their business cards and to do things like that. And once I did that and got in with them, then I'd start, talking to them about other stuff. And then they'd tell me, oh, yeah, we use Demand Force. And I might say, at that point, oh, okay, well, yeah, they're pretty good. They do a pretty good job. But if you really want to, increase your ROI or do X, Y, Z, and then you get into the, get them to ask you for more information and start the process. In this case, I'm just going to hit the back button and let's see what we can find. I'm just going to jump out to page 4. We jump out here and find drfife.com. So I'll go ahead and copy that. And I go look at Dr. Fife, first page. So he's out here with, if you can tell, pretty much his website only. There is no reputation happening here. Love this. This is somebody I would actually go after. Why? Because this particular dentist has no reputation. He's neutral. I don't see bad. I mean, I'd have to go in a little deeper before I'd, approach this. No reputation at all. Has a whole bunch of possibility, and it's not going to be that hard of work to go ahead and start a campaign, either to help him get more likes, to get, more reviews, to do things like that. He's already dominating, his own profile, so that won't be too hard. But notice there's no Facebook, there's nothing here, Yelp, anything, that's giving that social proof. So you're going to sell this particular person on social proof and why they need it. Again, for me, I'm not going to walk in the door trying to sell that. I'm going to sell a smaller service. Once I get in the door, then I'm going to move up to the bigger services. But you've identified this as a good customer or a good prospect. So it's really a strategy, coming out to Google and trying to find, those folks. Notice I go local. For me, and this might not be for you, but for me, when I can get in front of somebody, I have a higher close ratio than when I try to do it over the phone. So I do like to find local businesses that I can walk into, meet for the first time. For whatever reason, people like to buy from people. They trust you, even if you never touch them again or you don't go in all the time and you have phone calls after that fact. They've met you, they know you exist, they know you're real. That goes a long way. So I typically stay local to find my clients, but referrals come from all over the US for me. So this is how I would use Google Natural. Now to use maps, let's just go back a minute. Oh, went past it. And notice when Dentist Dallas, I look in the maps here. So these guys, not so much. So who am I looking for? Again, for me, I'm not looking to fix a bad reputation. You can go after that if you like. And you can find them on here the same way I'm about to show you. I'm looking for the neutral. Neutral are my favorite. I don't want someone with such a great reputation that they don't need me. I don't want someone with such a bad reputation. It's going to be a whole lot of work. I love neutral. So you go and say, I want to see map results for Dentist Dallas. You want to see, a whole bunch of them. And if you've ever been to the Dallas Metroplex, there's just a whole bunch of dentists. So a lot of people say, well, you're teaching this to everyone who takes this course. Doesn't matter. There's enough work to go around. There's so many businesses. This is just one Metroplex with just one keyword dentist. You've got doctors, lawyers, surgeons, contractors of all different kinds. There's just so many businesses. It's just a wealth of, people you can find and sell your services to. So I come here and I look, and what I'm looking for is I'm looking to get farther in. So I'm going to go to the next page. Again, I'm looking for a neutral. Like for instance, here's one, Jefferson Dental Clinics, West Illinois Avenue. No stars. That's a good prospect for me because I can then, try to get in with them, try to sell them other services, and then, eventually, get in the door. Here's another one, Bear Creek Family. Again, they have no reviews. You go in there and you explain to these folks why reviews are important, and you do enough homework and you bring enough ammunition in there, you will easily be able to, you get in front of 5 clients, you're going to get a client. You're going to get a client willing to pay $500,000, $1,500 a month. It's a numbers game. And if you don't love the sales part of it, then, this video is going to be kind of hard. But it's not as hard as you think. Remember, information and data doesn't lie. So if you go do your homework now and do an analysis, so you look up Bear Creek Family Dentistry and you see what area they're in and you compare it to their competitors and then you do a search, ask yourself this question: would I pick them? Would my friends pick them? Would my neighbors pick them? Because when you're sitting in front of them, you do that live. If you've done your homework and you wouldn't pick them and you're pretty sure they wouldn't pick themselves, that's the easiest way to sell reputation and SEO. So that's how you use the map box. You're looking for their celebrity. Look at all these folks that have no reviews. They have no social proof. If I come up in a search against somebody that has all 5 stars and has 38 people that told me they were fantastic, I'm probably going to pick that business over someone who has nothing. I don't know anything about them. No strangers have told me anything. It's great how strangers make up our minds, but it's real and happening. So that's how you do it in Google Maps. You go in here, you're looking for in your area, whatever area you want. We specialize. We try to stay. I don't like to drive far. I don't, if I'm going to touch and feel my clients, I don't want to drive 2 hours. So I stay in a very refined geographic area. There's enough business. Now I don't specialize just in dentists. I have quite a lot of them. And I don't specialize because I don't want to, go farther. I want to, stay. So I've become, the de facto business people find for, some specific areas. Okay. Remember, we're looking for no stars or 3 to 3.5 stars. If you do want to go fix a reputation, and I didn't show that, but if you want to fix a reputation, go for the 3 to 3.5 stars. If you're looking at, the star system, or go for someone who has, when you look them up, and you can look up a ton of people. If you see someone when they come up on the first page, if they don't dominate, you're going to sell the idea that they dominate. If they do dominate and they have 3 stars, you're selling the idea that you're going to fix that reputation. You're actually going to change those stars. And negative SERPs, so search engine result pages come up and it's awful, or if they have negative reviews or if they have a bunch of stuff, go look for those folks. These are your clients for reputation management. One of my favorites, they just don't exist on Google. Nobody can find them anywhere. This is actually a good customer, believe it or not. A lot of folks say, well, what are you going to do for them? I'm going to get them on the map. This is probably a reputation management and SEO customer. I can't come at them with all that at once. I'll go in with a low selling service. I'll then up them, as they make more money because of things I've done for them, they're going to spend more and more and more. And many of our customers, that's exactly what we do. They might start at $1,000 a month. Once we show them results, they're readily, willing to spend more money to get more clientele if we can show them how we can do that. And you can. With Facebook, which we're going to talk about next, and other things, you can do that for certain. So let's talk about Facebook. Facebook is an up and coming. Google's been dominating the market, but Facebook is sneaky, and they are jumping in here, and they are not, they're not playing around. So what is it about Facebook that I really like? Well, they incorporated a star system, and I find it easy to sell the star system. I find it very easy to go in and show folks, look, you have your Facebook profile, and while everyone, especially my favorite is restaurants. So let me preface that. So for Facebook marketing, so if you're trying to do reputation marketing for Facebook, for restaurants, it's fantastic. Where do people go? They go out there, they check Yelp, they check Facebook, they check the places. Those are the places you want to fix. Oh, you have 3.5 stars. We're going to try to fix that. Because 3.5 stars, somebody will pass that up and go to a different restaurant that has 4.5 or 5. You paint that picture for them, and then you tell them you can fix that. That's definite. Now, we're not going to get into Yelp. And the reason I don't is Yelp just changes too much, and it's a very fickle beast. It's very hard to fix Yelp, even though they say, they don't. The only thing you can really do with Yelp is the same thing you do with Google and Facebook. If you can flood it with positive reviews, it will dilute the negative reviews. It's just a harder sell than it is to, sell them on the other day of Google, Facebook. And you tell them, look, if we fix all these places, everything else will fall in, in line behind it. So same thing, we're going to look in, and I made a mistake. This should say Facebook. So you're going to look in Facebook pages 2 to 3 when you look somebody up. You're also going to do a preliminary search on Google to find out if they do make a good candidate. Go to see if they have a Facebook page, once you've, found somebody. And I did not make a mistake. I'm sorry. You go look them up in Google and then go do a preliminary search on Google to see if they're a good client. Then go to Facebook, because on Facebook, that's where you're going to see, do they have a star rating? If they do and it's bad, great. There's a prospective client. If they don't, great. There's a prospective client. Is their page on Facebook optimized? Because that's a great sell-in that, oh, well, we actually do this Facebook stuff. We're going to give it to you. We don't believe in, this is one of my favorites, we don't really do the Groupon thing, but we'll give you Groupon rates, so we don't have to split it with Groupon. They're a small business. They know who Groupon is. They've called them. So you'll be surprised how many people grab that. So let's jump out to Facebook. And on Facebook, when I jump out there, and why I didn't just type that in is beyond me. When I go out to Facebook, I'm going to show you me. And here's why, because I know my profile and it'll take less time. So once somebody finds me, they might go look me up. Or if they find me on Facebook, they definitely want to see my profile. Once I get out there and they see my profile, and we're using Facebook more and more, and people are using it, to look up businesses and to be around businesses. So what a lot of businesses don't know is, you have the ability to do a review system with Facebook. They turned it on, they've kind of played with it, they've hidden it from some. So you want to go and check to see if you can do this. But I look out here and I actually moved my reviews up to the top bar so people can see reviews. Now by default, it's not there. You can come down here to more and you can manage your tabs, and you can take and move your reviews up so it shows. So maybe that's the first thing you want, your customers to see instead of about. Maybe I can't move about, but I can put it in the second spot. I hit save. And now notice here's my timeline, here's about me, and then here's my reviews because I want people to see them. Why would I want people to see my reviews? Because I have a 5-star rating with 16 people saying that I rock. And you can look down and these are real people with real profiles and they could go look and they own real businesses. They are our clients. And so you can actually see that I didn't fake this. So I want people to know I have reviews. Even just doing this service for them. Maybe this is your free in the door service. Well, first of all, I looked at your Facebook. We need to make sure we get your review system going on Facebook and we make it prevalent. And the opposite is true. Maybe they have a bad reputation. You want to hide this until you fix it. So knowing what you're doing on Facebook is important, but this 5-star rating here, it's easy to sell folks on the fact that, look, you're not rating anywhere. You're not really utilizing the social proof. You've already painted the social proof picture. So if you can find clients that don't have this stuff turned on and they're not using this stuff, these are the things you're going to go do right away. That's why I like neutral clients. I build a whole business on people that are the low-hanging fruit. I'm not going after the hard stuff. People say, well, you can charge more. Well, I can just get 2 easy clients for the same price. Again, it's about ROI for me as well. I don't want to work very hard. I want to work as little as possible and make as much money as possible. So again, I'm finding the low-hanging fruit that I can quickly and easily fix, do some things for. Their ROI is great. They're getting more business from what I've done. They're happy. I'm happy because I'm making money and I've got a better profit from it. Okay, and remember, Facebook and Google, same thing. When we're talking about the 5 stars, literally, you're going to put in place a campaign, whether it be using some software we'll talk about in a little bit, or using some of the other things to go ahead and up that star rating for them. Let's talk about local businesses, because local businesses are very important. We talked a little bit, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. But if you can go to a local business and you can touch and you can feel them, you have a better shot. My longest customers, the customers that have been with me longest, are right here in my area, and I go see them and we have a relationship. So think about where you go each and every day, what businesses you pass. If your bank is on X road and you pass 200 businesses, those are businesses I'd go check out their profiles, see if you can help them. If you're the shy type, there's many ways to get in the door. And if you don't know, contact me. We have courses and we have lots of ideas for you how to get in the door once you've identified that local business. So where you go each and every day is important. Look up the neighbor businesses. Look up businesses around your business. Think about your colleagues and who they know. Remember, people would rather deal with someone they can touch, even if they never do, meaning they've never met you. I have clients here in the Dallas area. I've never met them, but because I was in Dallas, that made them feel better. Okay, last thing, I said I was going to talk about a little bit was networking, and I was going to talk about smart networking. And I think I said 99% of the people aren't doing it right, and they're not. There's only one type of group that you should belong to when it comes to networking. Most people say the Chamber of Commerce. No. When you're thinking about networking, you only want the type of group that's going to lead to you getting in front of people to present what you do and to try to close a deal. So you want to find the right type of networking group. Here's your criteria. And I'm a big fan. I'm going to tell you at the end, of this little deal here, which one I use. But here's your criteria, because they're not the only game in town. Is it exclusive? Meaning, if I join this group, am I the only web designer? Am I the only SEO person? Am I the only printer? I want to know if I'm the only one who could sell my service, because I don't want to compete with other people in my networking events. Nothing worse than showing up to a networking event and, there's 5 web designers there. And, why do you want to do that? It's a waste of time. You've just reduced your chances of, getting any business by, 80%, because now it's a 1 in 5 shot. Do members actively pass referrals, not leads? Meaning, does the group actively hand each other referrals? Are they always constantly thinking about each other? So when I go out and I meet someone and I set up their business and they say to me, man, we just set up, thanks for doing our website. What a crazy day. I'm still looking for, a tax attorney. Oh, I know a tax attorney. Let me get you in contact with them. Is it okay if I give them your number? Do you want me to give them your number? That's the type of group I belong to. We actively are looking to be each other's marketing professionals. Can you do business with the members in the group? Nothing worse than joining a group that has 50 members and none of them can use your service. I wouldn't join that group. Not only do you want them to give you all their leads, but you do want to, get some business from that group as well. Why? If you do a fantastic job for people in your group, they are going to give you referrals. They're going to tell other people. So I belong to a group called BNI. It's Business Networking International. No, they don't pay me to say it. The reason I bring it up is because I did networking for years upon years upon years. And I will tell you, of all the networking I did, I can count the dollars I made, you know, on my hand. It was a waste of time. Since I've belonged to BNI, I have made hundreds of contacts worth tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes each. Uh, it's a very, very good setup. They've got a model people have to follow. So I would strongly encourage you to check out BNI. You're going to find in your area that spot might already be taken, and you have to get on a waiting list. That's how good these groups are. They're kind of, if you've never heard of it, they're kind of a little no secret. If you've belonged to a BNI group before and you say, I belong to that, I didn't get any business. Maybe it's the wrong group, or maybe you had the wrong mindset, meaning if you go out and get business for other people, they will feel compelled to get you business. And it's the same idea, with your customers. If you do a great job, they're going to start telling everybody, oh yeah, who did this for you? How do you get such a great reputation? Oh yeah, this company does it. Give them a call. All right, this pretty much sums up this module. Hopefully you've got some, great things to think about. I don't pack, my modules with too much stuff. I don't like to overwhelm. So no, I didn't give you everything you needed to know. I gave you enough to get you thinking. So next steps, identify and implement a sales strategy. Figure out what it is you're going to do. Get prepared and look professional. In other words, make sure you have proposals, make sure you're going to have, those analysis. How are you going to do them? Look professional, be prepared. How are you going to deliver them? Take the time to put together a good package. Don't call them up and say, yeah, it's going to be this much money. No, tell them what you've done. Show them you're painting a visual picture. And then understand the psychology behind selling. People don't buy products. People buy people, meaning they're buying you. They're buying the dream or the picture you're painting for them. They're not buying your service, they're buying the end result, the ROI. Understand that and you will sell more. And practice your sales strategies. I was not good at it when I started. I was horrible at it. I hated it. I feared it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to make the phone calls. I didn't want to go sit in front of people. If I didn't step out and just make myself do it, I wouldn't be where I am today. And so get out there. If that does bother you, just get out there, practice. Even if you don't win the deal, you're practicing. That's what you got to tell yourself. No, didn't win the deal. That's all right. I know what I did wrong now. Next deal, I won't do that. So hopefully these steps have really helped you. Go out there and do these things and you will see results.